so today on the show we have Lesley-Rae and Sammy Weber on 10 Minutes.
Yes.
Again, thank you for the time. I sincerely appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Sammy, I'm going to ask you inside out lots of questions because I'm sure the viewers and the listeners want to know about you. Lots about you. But also, I'm very, very sorry, but we also want to find out a lot about your wife because I managed, a little birdie whispered in my ear that you're quite of age. You'll never say. And I think your wife has actually kept you so young. Or looking so young.
Yes,
Lesley, I don't know if you want to start, but I really just want to understand. You both are fantastic artists, and I just for the viewers out there, I'd like to get them to understand the journey that you took to get where you are today in terms of musicians. So I don't know who wants to start, whether it's you, Lesley, or whether Sammy would like to start. Either. They say girls first, eh, Sammy?
Yeah, girls first. Yeah.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Okay. I don't come from a musical background. I was in the corporate world for 10 to 12 years, and in 2015, Sammy was very ill, and then I decided to leave my job and then stay at home with him. Of course, I discussed it with him and he was okay with it. And then a year after that, I started singing full time. Yeah, so I'm still a newbie. Like, I've got lots to learn, you know. So yeah, my journey has been very uninteresting, you know.
Of course, and you're like such a professional when it comes to singing, eh?
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Sammy, you've got a long career. We're gonna take about 2 hours to get to know your entire journey. Do you want to tell us a little bit about where you started, Sammy?
Yeah, 2 hours is only the start of the journey, man.
Yeah.
Well, we've got lots of time. I mean, 10 minutes with Gallo can mean 24 hours. Who knows?
In 2018, I celebrated my 40th year in the industry. I had a concert in the Baxter actually with a lot of special guests that I've met through the 40 years, you know. Mm-hmm. I started as all of us started. The one thing that people always ask me is like, if I started in the church. I did not actually start in the church. I started in an old garage band, not far away from where I live. And at that time, I was just glad to be in some sort of musical environment, you know. Not knowing that it was going to become my career at some stage.
Sure.
And I played with them for 2 to 3 years, just getting myself into the industry. And then after that, I became quite a sought after musician in that time. And then after that, I moved from different bands to different bands, and until I came I'm compacting the story now, until I came sort of to the right guys at the time. And at that time in my life, it was VJR, Virtual Jazz Reality. And that was 27 years ago. And then I really started getting serious with my musical career in that band, you know. And with that band, I sort of traveled the world and saw some things, did some world festivals and stuff like that with that band over the 27 years till now. The band is still in existence.
Sorry, Sam, is that Andrew Ford, is it? And Ian Smith, I think it is.
Yeah, Andrew Ford, Ian Smith, and Frank Paco.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Perfect.
Yeah, with those three guys. And the band is still in existence, but we don't work as much anymore.
Yeah.
It's sort of the guys that sort of find their own pathway to go into, you know, and that is like the basic crux of the story. And in between, I can sort of fill in stuff what you would like to know.
I'm going to ask you lots of questions, but you said a lot of people asked you if you started out your music career in the church. Were you a churchgoer?
Never.
Unfortunately,
ever.
I was not, man. And not because I didn't know about it, because my mother was saved. My elder sister was saved. She passed away 4 years ago.
Okay.
The sister beneath her was saved. My brother above me is saved. So my uncle is a pastor in Melbourne, Australia. My other uncle that lives in Manenberg, he's a pastor there. So it wasn't that I was not, I didn't know about it. I knew about it, but I was just the black sheep. I went another route, you see. So
I see.
yeah.
I see. I don't think a lot of people knew this, but I didn't even know that you started out as a pop musician, and then moved on to jazz. Is that right?
There we go. That's right.
What possessed you to go into pop? Michael Jackson?
Oh, that was no. that too. But that is just how we started, because like I said, with this garage band that I started with, we would just play all the hits of the day, you know, and which was what was whatever in the top 10 or 20 on the radio, and that's what we played at the time, and that was just to get into the industry. And then afterwards, I moved on to jazz, but contemporary jazz, not the strict swing jazz and that. Contemporary jazz.
Sure. And how long are you living in Retreat? Because you were born in the World Cup and then moved to Retreat. Is that right?
Yeah, I was 2 years old when we moved to Retreat.
I see.
That's about 26 years ago.
Ah!
26 years ago. Wow. Sammy,
Yeah.
I also read, which I didn't know. I had no idea that you were a fitness trainer before, and you were a black belt in martial arts.
Yes, well, that never goes away. I still am.
Oh.
Whether I can do the stuff still is another matter. But I'm not a black belt. I'm a second Dan, which is black belt twice over.
Oh Lord.
You see, so yeah, and then from there, because I did martial arts for 15 years.
Okay.
And then after that, I sort of decided to get my personal trainer diploma.
Yeah.
And for that, I went for classes for 6 months, 6 days a week. And then we wrote here in Cape Town, but all our papers were sent to the University of Pretoria, and then they mark it there.
Okay.
And whatever you achieve there, they send it back to Cape Town, and I passed with a distinction.
There you go.
Fabulous.
Yeah, so I'm a qualified fitness trainer. Yes, I am.
Wow. So I mean, then your journey took quite a hit in terms of your personal health. Do you just want to elaborate a little bit about that, if you don't mind?
Yeah, in 2010, I was, after feeling quite at odds with myself, not feeling well, and my wife noticed it as well. Mm-hmm. And then I decided to have myself checked out by my GP, my general practitioner, and then he couldn't find fault with me, and then he sent me to a specialist, which was the neurologist. Mm-hmm. And then the neurologist did some tests and stuff like that with me. And in 2010, in November of 2010, because I had symptoms from the end of 2009, But after studying me for almost the whole of 2010, he then discovered that I had multiple sclerosis, which is, you can Google that and see what that was all about.
Sure.
And since then, I've been on chronic medication because that's a lifetime thing. You can't get away from that, you know.
Yeah.
And as you can imagine, in the beginning, it was quite hard for me. And it's a neurological thing, you know.
Sure.
And but then through the years, it's 10 years now. Through the years, I sort of adjusted and sort of got myself to get it into my head and understand what's going on. Whereas in the first 3 or 4 years, it was just hectic for me, trying to understand what is happening to me, you know. And now I'm okay. And with my lovely wife next to me, I'm more than okay.
I was just about to say, now you've got such an amazing support structure with Lesley right beside you, and you'll never say, Sammy. I mean, if one looks at you, you'll think there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. So I don't know what you're doing, or I don't know what Lesley's doing to keep you so fit as a fiddle.
Yeah, it's you see, I think what the specialist, because I see quite a few specialists as well as an eye specialist as well.
Sure.
What they tell me is that I also see a cardiologist for my heart and things like that, and he told me that it was because of my in the previous years before this condition, because I was keeping so fit with the martial arts, and then I worked for Planet Fitness for almost 3 years. I was a gym instructor in Planet Fitness, and then after that I did mountain biking for 7 years. He said, now because of all of that, I still have residue left from that, which helps me in this period that I'm experiencing now. He says it's a good thing that I kept myself so fit over all these years, because otherwise this illness would have gotten me like far worse than now, you know. And that is what I always like to maintain. I still train and do my things, well, not in the scale that I used to train, but I still try and keep fit and here at home and do all kinds of things, especially now in the lockdown period.
Sure. Lesley, anything you want to add to that? I mean, of course, I mean, you've been such a great support to Sammy, and I suppose vice versa. Is there anything you want to add, perhaps?
There's only one thing I would like to add, just with the regards to what the doctors have said. I think the only reason why Sammy is the way that he is because of God's grace, you know.
Right.
Yes, he took very good care of himself, but I think if we didn't have God, then I think it would have been so much worse, you know. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I want to do.
Well, amen to that.
Amen.
I say amen to that. So I really want to touch on COVID-19 and the way it's impacting on business and also just your personal life. I mean, both being musicians, how's that sort of impacted your careers in business and also your personal lives?
Yeah.
Go.
Dog. The last time I gigged was in Feb. Was it Feb? No, the beginning of March.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was sick the beginning of March. Feb. Yeah, that was the last time I gigged. Sammy was in March. It's been challenging, as it is for everyone, you know. But again, God is so faithful that He made provision for us even before COVID hit, you know. So we've been okay, you know. We've been okay. Sammy has several doctor's appointments that he still goes to, and his medical aid doesn't cover the specialists. And I'm just grateful that there was money to be able to pay for that, you know. So God has provided for us along the way. But it has been challenging, I won't lie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, from my point of view, is that when Lesley says that God has provided for us, we had some really lovely gigs just before, and we didn't know lockdown was coming.
Yeah.
We had some lovely gigs before that could sustain us for the whole lockdown period, and also help some other musicians as well that were struggling. So I'm glad that we could help, and I'm glad that the lockdown has not, you know, they say that when you're thrown together like us, we like everybody, sorry, there's no work, there's no going out, you're just locked in your home with the people around you, and then you start working on each other's nerves and stuff because it's unnatural, you know. And for us, we have just been, whenever things got a little bit strained between the two of us, we talk about it and we sort it out very quickly, and then we live again. And it's more than 100 days now, and it's been a fantastic 100 days, I would say, for the two of us,
I can
and
see,
surviving the whole lockdown thing.
I can see you get along really, really well every day, I'm sure.
We
Yeah,
have our moments.
you have your moments. Don't we all, Lesley? Don't we all? So just, I mean, in terms of the numbers, I was having a look at the numbers today. I mean, there's over 276,000 cases at the moment, with nearly 4,100 deaths in South Africa. And worldwide, we're looking at 13 million and,
Oh,
Yeah,
and 570,000 deaths,
yeah.
which is quite dire. What do you what do you think, in your opinion, in terms of this pandemic that we're in? Do you think it's going to get any worse as we speak? What's your opinion on that?
I mean, I'm not trying to be pessimistic or a prophet of doom, but I really think it's going to get worse.
Sure.
People are not adhering to the rules.
Sure.
Like, people are now upset because of the ban of alcohol. But guys, I mean, you can't control yourselves. You can't behave. You know, we have a pandemic. People are dying, and you messing around having a good time. And people need to focus on you that is having an accident because you can't control yourself, where their focus should be on, you know, people who are really ill right now. So I think we need to get our priorities straight. But yeah, it's definitely going to get worse. Definitely, before it gets better.
Absolutely. I think by now, almost everybody within their circle knows somebody that may be positive or has had some sort of effect where somebody may have passed on due to this virus. But it's real. It's out there.
It is.
And it's very, very sad in terms of what's happening out there. I mean, when our president said yesterday that alcohol is banned with immediate effect, that must have stirred up such a lot of hatred in many. In many.
Yeah.
And and now we have a curfew again.
Hey,
Yeah, we have got curfew, yeah.
it's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's crazy.
I mean, like you said, before we knew how serious this was. I mean, we all knew. We can't say we didn't know. But now some of us are directly impacted by it. Like Sammy's dad, his uncle in Australia, he was positive, you know. Do we know anyone who's passed on there?
No.
No, we don't know anyone who's passed on. But I mean, we all know of someone who's been directly affected by it.
100%.
you know, but we just not taking this seriously, you know.
Sure.
So yeah, then we will be treated like children.
Yeah, if we can't behave, then take the consequences, you know, because what I noticed is just like Europe is so organized with this thing, and everybody listens to one person, and then it gets filtered down to the people, and then the people obey, you know, and this is why they got it under control so well. But then there's others like our friend Mr. Trump, who is on the wrong side of the equation, and deaths are spiraling out of control. And the same thing here, you know. Well, in some of the cases, we can't blame the people because some of them just live on top of each other. They cannot social distance. So they can't help it. But I mean, those who can help it doesn't seem to care really, you know.
Right.
They're putting the hospitals more under strain by gender-based violence and stabbings when they're drunk and all of that kind of thing. And then the hospitals are under pressure because they've got all these COVID people to take care of.
Yeah.
And now they must take care of a drunken person who's been in an accident, or a drunken person that has fought with the other one and stabbed the other one, and so on and so on and so on, which make things much more difficult than it should be, you know?
That's well said. I mean, that's partly the reason why our president banned alcohol.
Yes.
Simply because of the hospitals that can't cope. So, just in your opinion, based on COVID-19, I mean, it's real, it's there. Where do you think it stems from? We have all these conspiracy theories that is happening at the moment that says it's man-made, or it's not real. Some people still think it's not real. Where do you think it stemmed from?
I have absolutely no idea.
Okay.
Well, they all said, we all know that it started in China, but what we don't know is how it started. They are still trying to sort of find out. And just this morning on the news, I heard that there's two people from the WHO, the World Health Organization, that is in China now, especially to find out how it started and how it got transmitted. They know it started from bats. They just wanted to know how it got from bats to human beings. So they want to find out how that happened. Whether the Chinese are going to allow them to do that, I don't know, because they are quite an autocratic people. But they're trying to find that out. So we don't really know. I have no idea how it started, but we just know where it started, and that was in China. So maybe over the next few weeks, they'll try and find out something, and also let the world know so that it doesn't happen again.
And they're also saying that this this virus is airborne. I mean, when it really came into effect, I thought it was airborne. I must be honest. I myself started getting headaches, and I thought I had it. And I've had tests done myself. Thank God it came out negative. But I do think almost everybody will get it, in my opinion. Until the world gets better, I think.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I also think so, because we're quite far away from vaccine, which will only be sometime next year, beginning of next year,
100%.
around about there. So that this virus is going to float around until they find a vaccine, and then they can maybe safeguard the world. But it's like you said, it's gonna come around to everybody's door.
Everyone.
And then only the strong will survive. Unfortunately, that is the way that it is, you know.
Sure.
And I feel sorry for people with pre-existing conditions and all the other stuff, obesity and all the other stuff, you know, because those are the people that are going to suffer. They're going to either have severe illness, or they're going to like pass on.
Sure. And that's the reality of the matter, unfortunately. But it is what it is. So
It is what it is.
we have to take day by day.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in that we are people through other people. How can people support the both of you to support others?
How can people support us to support others?
Absolutely. I think when people support you and there may be some financial gain towards you, you're always going to support somebody else. How do you think people can support you in that way?
Well, I belong to what is called the African Musicians Trust
Okay.
with Pastor Glenn Robertson.
Yes.
So now what they do is they've got a little trust going where musicians pay like 100 Rand a month. And that sort of build up a little bit of funds for musicians like myself. If ever I get sick or I have problems, then the trust can help me, you know. But all that we need is just people to join, especially musicians.
Yeah.
But anybody can join.
Okay.
And that is just to help musicians, you know.
Or just make a donation.
Or just make a donation, or once-off donation or something that can boost the trust. And when trouble comes, we can sort of use stuff like that.
Sure.
And then in that way, like you said, in that way, we can then help other musicians as well, like we did now in the beginning of COVID.
Sure. And Sammy, how does one get hold of the African Musician Trust?
I'll send you Pastor Glenn's details.
Okay, fantastic.
I'll send you all the details.
Sure. And then what I'll do is I'll put it in the link below the video. Yep.
Sure. Thank you.
Great. So is there anything that you'd maybe like to tell our listeners or viewers out there before we go? Lesley's always looking at Sammy, eh? And Sammy's always looking at you.
Because he speaks so well. I like to listen to him.
Oh,
he's very wise. He's very wise. So yeah.
Sure.
Thank you. Now the thing is when I say the people with pre-existing conditions should be careful, I am one of them.
Okay.
I am diabetic. I have multiple sclerosis, which is a immune deficiency disease, and those are things that's a high risk thing, you know. So what I would just like to say to the people out there is, those who aren't taking this seriously, please get together, get your head together, and realize that this is a serious something that we're busy with. It's when you say other people say that it's not real. It is very real. So to protect people like me and other elderly people and people with other pre-existing conditions, please take all of us into consideration and do the sensible thing. You know, sanitize yourself, mask yourself when you go out, keep social distancing, and just keep that up until we have a vaccination, so that we can all come out nice and safely at the end of this, you know.
I see what you mean, Lesley.
Darling. I taught him well.
Anyways, Lesley and Sammy, thanks very much. I mean, I can call you my personal friends. Thanks very much for your time. It was absolutely lovely having you on my channel, which will be going
very much, Gallo.
This Thursday.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay. So again, thanks very, very much. It's been really, really nice chatting to both of you. And
Great stuff.
have a fantastic day further and a good rest of the week. And be strong.
Yes, we will. You too. And stay safe.
I appreciate your kind words, Lesley. And Sammy.
Thank you.
Please do.
Thanks, Gallo.
Thanks,
Thanks very
Gallo.
much. Thanks.
Cheers.
Okay, bye.